East Coast because
What's up? What is good? I would say we are back, but I am not the same person y'all once knew. As y'all could tell, my long hair is stuffed up in my beanie, so y'all now got short hair Eddie. Unfortunately, this I can't speak like this neither. Ignore my TV right there. I'm too lazy to put up the green screen right now, but I'm gonna do 3 videos just yeah, I mean, keep y'all, I guess, somewhat entertained with my channel. Keep my channel still relevant for the next 3 days. Cause I'm gonna be cleaning my room. Yeah, I mean, so without further ado, this is embarrassingly dumb ways people died, part 8. I think this only goes up to 11. That's what I'm seeing when I be looking these genres up. It stops at 11. I don't be seeing a 12 or 13 type shit. So we're kind of getting to the end of this, which we got a lot more. Shout out to who recommended this. I can never pronounce your name. You've been giving me the content to react to, honestly, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you. Without further ado, let's get it.
Remembered for something great. But surprisingly often, incredibly dumb folks leave this world with a parting tale they'd probably prefer to be forgotten. That said, some of these spectacularly dim-witted accidental exit strategies are irresistibly entertaining to hear about. So without further ado, let's check out some of the most embarrassingly dumb ways people died.
Without further ado.
Labels? What labels? Whenever blowtorches fall into the hands of the less than brightest members of our species, it's always best to take a few steps back, by which I mean move to the next country over.
Plot twist, if y'all see me with a blowtorch, pray for whoever's near me, because I am pride. Am I bugging or is that smoke? Alright, I think that was smoke. Like the corner of my webcam, like right here. Oh yeah, that's smoke. Alright, oh shit, I'm tripping.
If this piece of common sense wasn't already obvious, a man from Topeka, Kansas certainly made it clear in June 2019. When he stumbled upon what appeared to be an empty metal drum, the inquisitive fellow thought best to cut the thing open with a blowtorch.
Why?
What he was hoping to use the divided drum for is anyone's guess, as it exploded violently before the fellow got the chance to finish his task. Apparently, he'd ignored the bold warnings that the drum contained methanol, a highly volatile compound. For people like this, instructions to keep away from naked flame must sound like a challenge. The only reward, of course, is a Darwin Award for removing yourself from the gene pool. Whether he read the labels or not, this guy's overeager blowtorch trigger finger cost him his life. Disney's other Dumbo. In Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Gaston is an incredibly arrogant character with an endless supply.
Did he call him Gaston? I always called him Gaston. Mandela effect. I don't know what's right anymore.
Misplaced self-confidence. So perhaps the man who played the role of Gaston at Disney World Orlando was still in character when he brought about his own explosive demise in 2015. It would seem so because he clearly placed too much confidence in the strength of his own skull when he launched a firework from atop his head. He'd been drinking and joking around with the idea when the firework accidentally caught alight. Within seconds, the mortar tube exploded in a colorful, fiery explosion that no amount of beer could take the edge off. Needless to say, Disney World had to find a new Gaston. But hopefully the new one was less of a method actor. Stay in your lane. Riding in a bicycle lane can be dangerous enough sometimes, but riding a bicycle on a highway? For most people, this obvious no-no should speak for itself. But one man in September 2019 was clearly different from most people, as he decided to take a late-night bike ride along the 405 freeway in Long Beach, California. He trundled along in the auxiliary lane, which is designed to allow drivers to speed up or slow down, on the 60-mile-per-hour highway in the dark unaware of the danger. Unsurprisingly,
Why?
a driver using the auxiliary
Why?
lane, not expecting to see a cyclist, plowed into the bicycle at full speed, unable to stop.
Rule number 1, don't go to California. Rule number 2, and I can't stress this enough, I don't got nothing against people who ride bikes. My friend owns one. All I'm gonna say, y'all don't own the fucking road. I don't even have a car, but I guarantee I almost got hit by more cyclists than a car. That might be cap, cause I almost got hit by a car a couple times. Well, more than a couple, but that's besides the point. This motherfucker, that's all I can say.
The cyclist was killed, and the driver was traumatized by an accident that should never have happened.
Facts.
So, unless you're a superhuman who can ride their bicycle at 60 miles per hour and over, leave the highways to the motorists.
That's what I'm saying.
Boredom
You
cured.
don't own the
When you're
fucking
prone to
road,
outrageously
bro.
bad decisions, tempting fate is about twice as dumb as it is for regular people. That didn't stop a Brazilian student, though, whose Facebook bio proudly proclaimed the infinitely wise proverb, "Better to die from vodka than from boredom." He put that adage to the test at a drinking contest in 2015.
I respect it. I respect it.
When he slammed 25 shots of vodka in less than 60 seconds. Shortly after sinking the final one, the student said he felt ill and collapsed. On the way to the hospital, he died of alcohol poisoning. Even over an hour, that many shots could have been potentially deadly. But in a minute? Forget about it.
No, I'm
It's
not.
fair
I'm
to
not
say
saying nothing. I
anyone
only
who is
put that
cheering this guy
closer
on
to,
is just as dumb as he was.
kind of outdo the video.
Past your bedtime. We're often reminded of how
I realize
important
my
a good
mic
night's
is kinda
sleep
low
is,
when I
and for
record.
good reason. But the impact of staying up too late went far beyond feeling groggy the next morning for one Chinese fellow in 2014. As a huge soccer fan, losing sleep during the World Cup due to the 11-hour time difference between host nation Brazil and his...
All due respect, how do y'all people? I'm not gonna say y'all people. How do people watch soccer? And if you watch soccer, how do you watch soccer? Like, how is that shit enjoyable? Sorry if I'm loud as shit now, but how do y'all watch soccer? That's all I'm gonna say. How? Like
his
how?
own was no biggie. But the stress, exhaustion, and excitement of watching soccer's greatest players go head-to-head non-stop for the 48-hour stretch he stayed awake for took its toll. His extreme exhaustion is thought...
I don't think I ever stayed up 48 hours. No, I did. I don't think I ever stayed up 2 days straight without sleeping. No, I didn't. I value sleep too much to take it for that much of granted. Yeah, nah. 24 hours was probably the most. Yeah. At least like 24, like 27, like going, like, you ever stay up all night and then go to go to sleep the next day at night? It's kind of more than 24 plus hours unless you got up at like 7 p.m. And then if you ain't got a job and you waking up at 7 p.m., what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's coming from me. That's speaking value.
to have triggered a
Speaking
brain
a lot of
hemorrhage,
value.
something research suggests sleep deprivation significantly increases the chances of. He
That's
died
wild.
shortly after the last match of the day when Costa Rica defeated Uruguay 3-1. Whether he was a fan of the losing side and took the loss particularly and fatally hard is unclear. But if my parents had told me I could die from staying up too late, I probably would have got more sleep as a teenager.
Facts.
Calamity
I
Convoy.
was drawing.
One night in
Well,
April
I was.
2016,
I'm still am.
a truly
I'll be
bizarre
up to, like,
convoy
4
was seen
a.m.
chugging
Well, if I
along
lose
a
sleep
road in
deprivation, I'll
Louisiana.
be tired.
One man was driving a sit-down lawnmower, while another sat upon the hood, and a third sat in a wheelchair holding onto the back being pulled along. The trio was reportedly having the time of their lives on their ride along a busy road. That is, until a truck smashed into them from behind. As shocking as it seems, it turned out a darkened roadway wasn't the best place for a tag-along DIY joyride.
Yeah.
Miraculously, the only person to die in the incident was the man behind the wheel of the lawnmower, who had seemingly instigated the ridiculous activity. Hopefully his friends will keep their mowers firmly on the grass from now on.
Wow.
Shotgun wedding. It's not my place to criticize another culture's traditions, but a circle of dancing men haphazardly firing shotguns into the air doesn't seem like the smartest way to celebrate a wedding. Unfortunately, that was the method of choice for a group of Indian wedding attendees with a taste for celebratory gunfire in 2019. The first round of gunshots, fired dangerously closely over the dancers' heads, almost deafened several of them. But the next round, fired without any regard to things like, aiming, resulted in one shotgun-wielding guest receiving a direct hit to the face. Unaware, the oblivious reveler continued to gleefully fire shots until he was made aware of what he'd done. Needless to say, after he'd finally decided to look around him, the festivities were over. From now on, how about we stick to wedding bells rather than shotgun shells, eh? Premature detonation.
Y'all can't even say that's some American shit, man. I don't know what the fuck that is, bro. That is just some stupidity shit at its finest. Dios míos.
Nation. Every master criminal has to start with the smaller jobs before the big bucks come along. That said, robbing a machine full of condoms for its contents and cash isn't exactly the usual mark of a criminal genius in the...
How many times are you fucking that you need that many condoms? And what are you saying that's getting you pussy shit? I need to know. I've been single for 2 years now.
But on Christmas Day, 2015, a group of amateur German thieves decided it was time to make headway in the crime game. They bundled some explosives into a condom dispenser and lit her up. But to their surprise, the explosion blasted chunks of the metal enclosure outwards with enough speed to become deadly projectiles. One of the rubber robbers was struck in the head and died shortly afterwards. The machine wasn't in a much better state either. I hate to state the obvious, but I really think that condom-crazy criminal would have been okay if he'd just worn protection. Cold-blooded companions.
Oh,
For
shit.
many people, the idea of having a snake in their house is nightmare fuel. For others, a snake is an ideal pet. For a woman living in Indiana in 2019, though, one snake wasn't enough. Her ideal number wasn't 2 or 3. It was 140.
Why?
As an enthusiast and part-time breeder, you'd think the 36-year-old would have had a solid understanding of the risks of living with reptiles that have the ability to kill you. But whether she let her guard down or just felt comfortable letting the creatures roam free, one fateful evening saw one of her snakes turn on its owner. The next day, the town sheriff was horrified to discover the reptile enthusiast held in a deadly embrace by one of her beloved pets, an 8-foot-long python. It had strangled her to death hours before, but was still wrapped around her neck, proving that when a python wants a hug, there are no half measures. Pythons just say no. Look, Mom.
Literally, I'm sorry if I was frozen during damn near that whole segment. My asshole puckered. I'm sorry. When I heard that number of snakes, my asshole, that shit clenched up so fast. I don't regret saying any of this. That shit legit. That's nightmare fuel. That is nightmare fuel. I'm not scared of snakes, but I would never have one as a pet. Maybe if I'm like, well, a fucking python, I'm terrified of shit like that. But if it's small, like a small snake, then yeah. But that asshole puckering fuel.
No hands. Of all the times to show off, doing so while cruising on a motorbike at 85 miles per hour is undoubtedly among the stupidest. That didn't stop one Russian motorbike blogger who fancied himself somewhat of a daredevil on his Harley Davidson in June 2019, though. He raced along using his feet to steer while filming with his hands, bragging about how his ability to not give a made these kinds of stunts possible. Mere moments after sending the outrageously dangerous video on to a friend, the biker lost control and his Harley flipped dozens of times, smashing against the tarmac. The vehicle ended up only slightly less mangled than its rider did, but even the most skilled mechanics and doctors combined couldn't put the two back together. Texting and riding is dumb enough, but if you follow in this guy's footsteps, the only thing waiting down the road is a tarmac-covered Darwin Award. Heads up. Bumping your head is one of the most rage-inducing minor pains a person can sustain. But even a direct smack into the hardest low-hanging shelf doesn't compare to what one daredevil with a taste for trains and trespassing went through.
Y'all know how I feel about train stories already. I'm not I'm not the biggest. I heard damn near all of them. They can really only end one or two ways. There's only multiple things you can do while you're standing on top of a train. Uh, yeah, so I'm just gonna give. I kind of seen this one in the thumbnail, so I already kind of like thought of what I was gonna say. That's why I'm so well prepared for talking right now. I'm gonna pay attention to it, but I'm not gonna pay attention to it if you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna give it a little slight attention. It's gonna have my ears. It might not have my eyes. I might be looking off, but I mean, I don't want to be rude to y'all, but we heard a lot of train stories already. It felt like you put one in every damn near video, and it kind of ran its course on me already. I get over shit pretty quick.
In North Carolina in 2018. In an attempt to satisfy his adrenaline cravings, he climbed onto a train's roof and, as if it was a wild metal stallion, attempted to ride it. It went well initially. He'd been issued warnings previously for similar incidents, so he probably had his head around the balancing act train top cruising required. But his head ended up around something else when the train passed under a low-hanging bridge. Apparently not seeing the bridge in time, he hit it at full speed.
I did it again.
It turns out, hitting solid objects at around 90 miles per hour isn't very good for the human body. 2 months later, his skull was found on the side of the railroad, approximately 128 miles from where his body was found on the day of the accident. This led authorities to a grisly conclusion.
All I'm gonna say, we're like right here, just in case it starts the video over. All I'm gonna say to that with the distance shit. Oh shit! Oh shit! That motherfucker body flew.
He'd been quite literally decapitated the moment he hit the roof of the bridge, and his body had continued along its journey before eventually falling off the train. The conclusion is simple. Don't be a train cowboy. It's a real headache. Bad time for a stroll. Drive-through safari parks are a great way for anyone with a love for nature's wildest beasts to experience them up close safely. It's safe just as long as you follow one simple rule. Stay inside your vehicle at all times.
Big cat.
But on a summer's day in 2016 at Badaling Safari World in Beijing, that simple rule was broken in an act of overwhelming stupidity. After an argument broke out between a passenger and driver of a car driving through the tiger enclosure, the passenger stormed out of the car in frustration. Bad move. Within seconds, a tiger leapt over and snatched her off in its jaws. But while this was indeed a mind-numbingly stupid decision, the response of the other occupants of the car is what proved deadly. Despite the fact that park officials were already merely feet away on their rescue mission, one passenger decided she'd be able to overpower the tiger herself. So she got out.
Grandma! Grandma! Oh my god, Grandma! Not Grandma! Grandma, I told you don't fucking fight tigers.
Ran over and was immediately killed by one of nature's most efficient murder machines. Ironically, the person she'd aimed to save survived, and if she'd only waited a second for the highly trained park officials to take over, she could have too. It shouldn't need to be said, but if you're going to fight a tiger unarmed, you're going.
But you see how he's getting dragged away? That's all a cat is gonna do. That's the whole thing. Unless you give them the opportunity for a fucking like fatal blow to the neck or something, bro, you can easily kill a big cat. I'm not saying I could. Well, I could because I have a gun and I always keep my gun on me. The fuck is you talking about? I can kill anything that is a threat to me or that tries to put my life in danger. Yay. Fucking trying to attack me. That's how you end up on the Darwin Awards. Cause I'm gonna just shoot you, and all my shit illegal. So, motherfucker, fuck with your boy.
Going to lose.
But y'all see the point what I'm trying to make.
Of all the ways to go, passing away while doing the dirty is probably one of the best. But for an elderly man who hired an escort in 2016,
imagine you doing your thing with a female, you start getting chest pains, but you don't care because you going in, you swimming in the ocean right now. You just keep going. Your heart keep hurting and getting worse and worse. Boop, 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 boop. But then you bust the fattest nut of your life. And then you just have a heart attack. Like your heart just explodes or something, bro. I wouldn't even be mad. Like at the same time you bust a nut, your heart explodes, bro. Yo, that shit. But you're not gonna feel your heart explode because you're gonna die. But the last thing you're gonna feel is just the nut Just the nut that you busted. God, is that how I'm? God, I think that's no, 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 no.
Aftermath was where the real
That's one of the ways I
embarrassment
want to
lay.
go in my 80s.
Unfortunately, in the heat of passion, the man suffered a heart attack and died,
I was close.
much to his paid companion's horror. But to make matters worse, the combination of the escort's panic and the man's no longer circulated blood flow, the pair became, well, stuck. Unable to break free from the horrifically morbid embrace, the woman had no choice but to seek medical assistance. After paramedics picked her up,
That's
she was
wild.
wheeled past crowds of
That's some
hospital
zombie shit, come
onlookers
back
under
bitter.
a blanket. Still very much attached to the man she'd given a very happy ending to. I guess the whole parting bit of "till death do us part" only applies to married couples. Which of these dumb demises raised your eyebrows highest? Let me know.
I will never watch this because this is just horrifying. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. This is gonna be a long video. Somewhat, I was talking a lot, which is, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I said a little bit more than I should have, but I'm out. Everybody stay safe. I got 2 more videos on the way. Well, 1 more video on the way, technically. Yeah, that's about it. Everybody stay safe. See y'all.